Have you ever felt like your time, energy, and kindness were being stretched thin, given away freely to people who didn't truly value it? If so, you're not alone. This is the story of James Carter. What happens when you draw the line and choose yourself? When you stop being a safety net for everyone else? This is where James's real journey begins. James Carter was the kind of person everyone relied on. A successful graphic designer in his late 30s living in Portland, Oregon, he was the go-to friend, the emergency contact, the fill-in, the ride to the airport, the listener, and the problem solver. He had a warm heart and a genuine desire to help. But behind his smiling face and helpful nature was a man growing increasingly tired, unfulfilled, and overwhelmed. He would cancel his gym sessions to help a friend move, put off his work deadlines to console a colleague going through a breakup, and even allow friends to stay at his apartment for weeks while they were figuring things out. Despite being surrounded by people, James felt deeply alone. He didn't want to admit it, but resentment had begun to take root. He wasn't being appreciated, he was being used. One evening, after another day of postponing his own life to fix someone else's problems, James sat on his balcony with a glass of wine and asked himself, when was the last time someone did something for me? He couldn't remember. The final straw came when his sister, Emily, called him in the middle of an important project pitch. She needed help picking out curtains for her new apartment. When he told her he was busy and couldn't talk, she became upset. "You are always available for everyone else. Why not for me?" She snapped. That was it. That night, James made a decision that would change everything. He would stop being available to everyone but himself. It began with simple boundaries. James turned off his phone after 7, stopped responding to non-urgent messages immediately, and said no when asked to take on extra work. Initially, people were confused. Some were angry, and a few even accused him of being selfish. But something surprising began to happen. James found time to think, time to walk, time to read books he had bought years ago but never opened. He had time to work out, to sleep, and to create. His work became more inspired. He started freelancing again on his own terms, and the quality of his designs skyrocketed. Most importantly, his mind became quieter, more focused, and more at peace. Of course, not everyone supported this new version of James. One of his longtime friends, Mark, sent a passive-aggressive text. "Wow, must be nice to have all this free time now." Others stopped reaching out entirely. The invitations to parties, hangouts, and coffee dates grew fewer. But what James began to realize was that most of these relationships had been one-sided. When he stopped showing up, the connections disappeared. At first, this hurt him. But then, it healed. In the midst of emptiness, James discovered clarity. The people who truly cared about him made the effort to stay in his life. They respected his time, energy, and even his silence. One evening, his sister Emily called. This time, she asked him how he was doing. There were no demands or requests, just genuine care. That moment brought tears to James's eyes. With his newfound time and energy, James set out to rebuild his life intentionally. He launched his own graphic design brand with a clear vision and set of values, focusing on clients who respected his creative space. His business flourished. He took a solo trip to the Rocky Mountains, where he spent days hiking, journaling, and simply being present. Standing at the edge of a cliff, overlooking a valley bathed in a golden sunset, he whispered to himself, "I had to lose everything to find myself." He joined a local book club, meeting people who appreciated meaningful conversation. He rekindled old friendships that had faded, not from neglect, but from mutual busyness. Most importantly, he started dating again, this time without losing himself in the process. James realized that saying no was not an act of rejection. He no longer felt guilty for not attending every gathering or for turning down last-minute favors. Instead, he felt powerful, grounded, and whole. The anxiety that used to gnaw at him every morning was gone, replaced by a quiet sense of control. And people noticed. His clients admired his focus, his friends appreciated his honesty, and his family respected his boundaries. The man who was once everyone's crutch had become a pillar, strong, steady, and self-defined. James learned that being always available isn't a virtue, it can become a vulnerability when taken too far. Constant availability can lead to burnout, resentment, and the slow erosion of one's identity. But when you choose yourself, something magical happens. You attract people who respect your time. You create space for your passions. You rediscover your voice. You rebuild your confidence. Most importantly, you begin to live a life that's yours, not one dictated by others' expectations. Today, James still helps people and cares deeply, but he does so from a full cup, not an empty one. He's no longer the man who says yes out of obligation. He's the one who chooses to show up with intention. In doing so, his life transformed. If you have been giving too much of yourself away, or if you feel like you are running on fumes while everyone else fills up, maybe it's time to reflect. It's time to stop being so available. It's time to choose yourself. Because when you do, everything changes. What would your life look like if you gave yourself the attention you so freely give to others? Perhaps it's time to find out. Like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.